The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Coming up next on Locked On Canucks, why Braden Coots can win a Stanley Cup in Vancouver.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, happy Monday. Happy Monday to the blue and green. Happy Monday to Seattle Seahawks fans. But this is another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Begg, sports reporter for Daily High Vancouver, also a Seahawks fan. Joined as always by Kyle Bowen, not a Seahawks fan, but went from coworker to brother by giving me a call last night after the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. I wanted to start off today's show by talking about the lessons that the Canucks can learn. And there's a big one, man, because this team absolutely needs to clean house. So let's get into that. I also want to talk about the lanky stud from Belarus as well here on Locked On Canucks. That and so much more. But first, Kyle Bowen, this is how I know you're a true friend, man. You stopped by to wish me luck before the Super Bowl. You called me after the game. What can I say, man? I've never loved a Packers fan more than I've loved you.
Wow. Honestly, I wish I could say the same about you and your fandom with the Seattle Seahawks, and say, I don't think I've loved the Seahawks fan as much as I've loved you as a homie. But you know what? I think I got some uncles, man, who are diehard Seahawks fans too, and I've seen them go through the up and downs. I actually lost an uncle who's a big Seahawks fan too, so I'm kind of there right now with it. Okay, family over friends, Trevor. Okay, that's something I've learned from you too, man. Second best dad in the world, Trevor Bags. Again, cooking and cleaning and watching the Super Bowl and babysitting. I'm telling you, that was the best Valentine's Day gift you could have given your wife, man. Honestly, you got to put that in the card and say, by the way. No. You don't have to say, by the way. But I think what I'm trying to say is, as much as is Sam Darnold from Belarus? Is that who you're going to talk about later in the episode? Anyways, as much as Sam Darnold deserves credit, I think the good karma that you put out yesterday, spreading that love and sharing it and being hopeful, and I don't know, you kind of remind me of the players on the Seattle Seahawks. I think you were part of that victory yesterday.
Yeah, man, you got to embody, a good team and a team you enjoy watching and a team that works hard and a team that works for each other. I think that was the big thing you heard after the win, and the Seahawks team's been saying it all season long. They played for the other person in the organization, One thing that got brought up a lot yesterday after the Seahawks Super Bowl win was Ernest Jones. Back in that game, it was the last game Seattle lost. Darnold throws 4 picks, I think it was. They lose by 1 point to the Rams. And Ernest Jones basically backed up Sam Darnold and said, that's my quarterback. I got his back. And it made me think, is anyone on this Canucks team doing that for each other? Meanwhile, here we got Teddy Bluger saying that, guys need to act like they care. I'm paraphrasing. Guys have to have respect for each other. That's the definition of respect for each other, is when times get tough, you step up in front of a mic and you stand up for your brothers through thick or thin. But you got to believe it, man. It's got to be earnest. And obviously there's none of that going on right now with the Vancouver Canucks. And I feel like I'm going down a rabbit hole, man. Maybe it's I'm riding the Super Bowl high of the Seahawks, but I became really glad that the Canucks drafted Braden Coots yesterday, because you want character guys on your team. You want guys that are going to play for the other guys in that locker room. And I had this thought, don't ask me how many beers deep I was, but I had this thought that, when the next great Canuck core emerges, I don't see Braden Coots being the most talented guy on that team, much like Sam Darnold is the most talented guy on the Seahawks. But I can see the Canucks winning a cup with Braden Coots because he has that character, man. He has that character in him from everything we've heard about this kid.
Damn. You're high on Braden Coots, man. You're high on Braden Coots. That's good, man. Got that Canada bias, that Olympic bias, a good old Canadian kid. Don't worry, I'm going to therapy for that. I'm gonna figure out how to get that sentence out of my vocabulary, but we're gonna learn together. And again, you're high on him. It's 420 somewhere, okay? For me, it's still wait and see, obviously, but I don't know how much longer I want to wait for the younger guys to just get all the responsibility. And don't get me wrong, there's a few veterans in Seattle who probably have been again, like been around the game for a long time. A couple free agents that you signed this year, though. Like what I'm trying to say is you guys have a fairly young team, and then you guys got the veterans in the offseason of like 8 months ago. You know what I'm saying? To like have that like leadership group form. But in general, even when you add veterans to a mix like that, like the veterans go in the room, and it's clear that like the culture isn't going to be set by them. Like there's room for like other people to grab it, right? Like who wants to shape it? And I think that Braden Coots is one of those guys that within the next couple of years, if he walks into like a blank canvas type of dressing room where like the culture, quote unquote, or the aura is like, you know, waiting to be made, waiting to be written, like he's one of the guys that can grab the pen and do it, or like would want to do it. Like you'd want him writing that story. You're like casting that spell. You know what I'm saying? And the same can be said about Tom Willander. And just going back to the Seahawks, and again, going back to everything that we just rambled about when it comes to like leadership, I think I know it's a different game, but because we did this, a couple weeks ago, saying that the Canucks should copy the Seattle Seahawks. But one thing that we didn't like really dive into was like how much of this, the old regime that they let go. Like we talked about Russell Wilson a lot, but I just completely forgot like Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf were just like, yep, get out of here, you know, get out of here. And they did it with grace, and did it with ease, and they did it not having like proof that Najigba was going to be like twice as good as Metcalf. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and if there was proof, it was super small, just like the sample sizes like guys like Z Booyam and Tom Willander have given us. But yo, Najigba is not just a big part of like that team's statistical, you know, prowess. Like you could tell that guy had carry some like swagger to him, where there's like a high level of compete. There's a guy who wants to be a leader amongst men, you know, he wants to be a dog. And I wonder if like he could have stepped up the way he stepped up this year in the room, just as a leader, if, you know, Lockett was there, like let alone like a Metcalf, you know what I'm saying? So just letting go of veterans in the transitional time to me is so important, especially when like culture is so much so much so lacking. Like this team is not just losing because they have a bad roster. Yo, they're losing because they give up a lot.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Just like dude, and everyone has said it. Everyone has said it. Multiple like GMs have said it. A GM has said it. A president has said it. 2 coaches have said it, and players have said it. You know what I'm saying? So, all in all, I think if anything, watching like the Seahawks do what they did yesterday, and just talking to you more about your education about the Seahawks, because again, I haven't read the books, and I don't have enough time to follow more than one NFL team. I was like, damn, like to me, it happened quick, but they made like drastic moves, and they just had the right people to fill in the gaps. Like, you know, we may have in Tom Willander and Braden Coots.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And look, I'm just some of the quotes on Braden Coots as well. I mean, you know, this is from a coach in the WHL. I believe this is coach in Seattle. He's the kind of player that every coach trusts in big moments. He competes hard, plays the right way, and puts the team first. One of his teammates said he doesn't cheat the game. He works for his ice, tracks back hard, leads by example. Again, even Braden Coots said he's not the loudest guy in the room, but when he speaks, guys listen. And to me, man, this is all sounding a lot like Sam Darnold with the Seattle Seahawks, man.
Okay, relax. You're not gonna. Okay. You know what? He's a champion. He's a champion. No. What I was gonna say is like, damn, you weren't gonna get me excited if you're gonna compare him to Sam Darnold.
Dude, Sam Darnold's won a Super Bowl, man. What do you want? What's not to be excited about? What's Jordan Love done?
I'm gonna be. Hey, I didn't bring up Jordan Love. Okay, why do you gotta talk about love right now? It's Valentine's Day week. Leave love alone, okay? Well, Trevor, I'm gonna let you take the floor, but I'm just saying, I want Braden Coots being better than Sam Darnold. That's great. That's a crazy thing to say. I know I'm an asshole still, but talk about it.
Yeah, you got high expectations, man. But look, I do think Braden Coots is kind of like your Bo Horvat type, and that's been said before. And he's not going to be maybe necessarily the same player as Bo Horvat. I can see him being maybe more reliable defensively and less potent offensively. But again, he's a guy that could carry the culture here in Vancouver, right? And we're talking about a very young kid. And I know I'm drunk off the blue and green, and I'm believing right now. But I just know from this Seahawks team, like that's what you need. You need guys on your team who are going to play for each other and elevate each other. What do the Canucks have right now? They have freaking Elias Pettersson and Evander Kane playing on the top line. 2 of the most disinterested, overpaid bums on the Vancouver Canucks right now, man. It's just like change the culture.
Trevor,
Change
you're
the
still,
culture.
you're
And
still
look, man, like the Seattle, and I've said this before, and I'll say it one more time before we get to break. The Seattle Seahawks changed the culture when they traded away Russell Wilson. And what do? I mean, the Canucks aren't going to get this for Trevor Pettersson, unfortunately, but they got a lot of draft picks. I believe Devon Witherspoon is one of the guys they drafted, that 5th overall in that trade, and that guy is now an anchor of their defense. Get rid of the dead weight, build the next core, and find guys who want to play for each other.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing, technically speaking, scientifically speaking, because we can talk about the spiritual things all we want, but at the end of the day, I think it's time to like make sure you got guys in that room that play hard no matter what. That's the start. The fans deserve that. Like the fans are going to sit around for a rebuild. They are. We're addicted to the game, and it's the Canucks. You know, we bleed blue, green, red, black, orange, and all of the above, right? Like it's just what we're gonna do. And at the bare minimum, with us being okay with losing, I think this fan base just deserves compete. Like there's no excuse for that. And this fan base is smart enough to know that like there's a way to compete and still lose games. And I know that sounds so crazy for me to say, but talent is so important still, right? Like 100%. The Canucks would be the hardest working team and still finish bottom 3 next year. But at least they're the hardest working team, and that's something that they can build on. Like you recognize that. It's not a gloomy thing, you know? It's, oh, we're a young team, but I like the way we tried all year, you know? I like, you don't understand, but the Canucks can't walk away with anything like that right now. Like, as a team, you know what I'm saying? As a team, and you brought up the Witherspoon, is that what his name is?
Devon Witherspoon, yeah.
He's amongst like 4 or 5 other guys, but he's a leader. Like that guy's an athlete. Like he's too fast, bro. Like he just sees blood all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like the way he attacks is fierce, but it's in line with like doing whatever it takes to win. Like he hits hard. You just got brothers there, man. And I think it's easier to become brothers and comrades when you actually go to war for each other game in and game out. It's hockey. And for far too long, the Canucks don't play hard, and they're also very soft when it comes to like defending each other. There's just no time for that anymore moving forward. Like you can't do that. You cannot insulate guys like Braden Coots and Tom Olander and Z Booyam and DPD. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't keep those guys around forever. And realistically speaking, like I was thinking about DPD a lot, and I'm like, damn, like can you go another year without anyone defending him and him being the only guy at 20? How old is this guy? 15 years old? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, seriously, bro. He's probably like, yo, I didn't know the NHL was like this. This is like playing for a Swedish hockey league team. Crazy.
Some Swedish hockey league teams might be better, man. But yeah, let us know in the comments, how many of the bad eggs can the Canucks remove from the roster before the NHL draft, the most important day in Vancouver Canucks history. Whoa. All right, coming up on the other side, let's talk about more lessons from down south. Let's talk about Valentine's Day. Let's talk about where Elias Pettersson is playing at the Olympics as Team Sweden had their first practice. Lines were released. All that's coming up next here on Locked On Canucks. All right, before we get back to the program, let's shout out our friends over at Factor. Cold days, packed schedules, and big goals. That's winter. And when there's not a lot of time to cook, eating well can feel like another thing on the to-do list, and that's where Factor comes into play, baby. Factor makes healthy eating easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs, so you can eat well without the planning, prepping, or cooking. It's that easy, man. Factor meals are always fresh, never frozen, and ready in about 2 minutes. The ingredients stand out from the lean, mean fighting machine proteins, the colorful veggies, the whole foods, and the healthy fats. Perfect for busy weeks when you still want meals to support your goals without the stress. So head on over to factormeals.com/LockedOnNHL50 and use code LockedOnNHL50 to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. What? Eat like a pro this month with Factor. New subscribers only, varies by brand. Only free breakfast item per box for 1 year while subscription is still active.
Damn.
All right, let's shout out our friends over at Doer, baby. Time to do the doer. Man, oh man. Not only am I feeling good today because the Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl, but I'm feeling great because I wore my Doer jeans, man. I've been shaking my ass all morning long. Dancing to the NFL on Fox Sunday theme song, boom, bam, because my Seattle Seahawks just won the Super Bowl. So feel and look your best as well with Doer. Man, oh man, let me tell you, they're not just any other jeans. They're the most comfortable jeans in the world. They got the Cool Max fibers that help regulate your body temperature so you don't feel like you're overheating below the belt. So I can shake my ass all day long and I don't have to worry about sweating, man. Come on, let's go. I know you love Doer as much as I do, so it's time to get a pair of your own. Check out the shirts too. They got it all. Check out Doer here in Vancouver at 1757 West 4th Avenue. Mention my promo code LockedOnCanucks in store to get 15% off your first order, or shop online at doer.ca/LockedOnCanucks for 15% off. Don't wait. Go to DUER.ca/LockedOnCanucks.
Damn, dude. Okay, did he shake that ass wearing Doer jeans to Bad Bunny? Have you watched the halftime show yet? Have you done it? Did you, again, I don't know. Trevor, you know what? It's for another show on why you didn't watch the Bad Bunny halftime show, okay? But hey, that's for another show, Trevor. Okay, we back doing this, and that's reading your comments here on Locked On Canucks. Dan Jardine saying culture problems are mostly in the forward ranks. Pettersson, Besser, DeBrusque, and Garland seem to have lost interest. Trade them all, especially Garland, before his no movement clause kicks in. Out of all those guys, like, who do you actually see going first, Trevor? And just to end off my little ramble, like, I actually, if they could get rid of like the other guys before Garland, I think about it. I agree.
I think it's just got to be Garland's because of the trade protection. I will say, I think Jake DeBrusque would be pretty open to a change of scenery. Elias Pettersson, I'm not as sure, but I do think he'd be open to it as well. I think Besser's the one where guy just got engaged, girls from Vancouver. I'm not sure. I mean, and you're not going to get anything for him either. I think we've talked about it before, but Thomas Drance did report about a week ago that he thought among the Canucks veterans, his reporting was saying that Garland and Besser are the two most likely to go. And that really surprised me because I'm like, who the hell is paying assets to get Brock Besser? Brock Besser! So, yeah, I just don't see the Besser one happening. I think he's in Vancouver. But the other three, dude, trade him. Trade him! Listen to Dan Jardine, man. The guy knows. He's wise.
Trade him, but if, like, trade them all is like one thing. That's probably like 0% chance happening just because, like, that's just a hard. I hope they can, just because, like, it'd be nice to, like, I can't believe I'm about to say this, Trevor, but Seattle Seahawks it. Okay.
Yeah, buddy. Let's go. Let's go.
Don't even ever mention that. You cannot mention that. You can. I'm never going to say that sentence again. Never going to do it. That was crazy. That was like saying I'm ashamed to be a Findu, Trevor. That was crazy. That one hurt.
Hey, come on, man. Do it with me just for 5 seconds, man. Let's go. Let's go, man. Let's go, Seahawks.
There was one time where I almost got kicked out of Seattle for my hatred of the Seattle Seahawks. One of the most shameful moments of my history. But you know what? I watched The Lion King a few days after, and I just recalibrated. So you got to learn your lessons, right? And I learned one. I was a hyena, but now I'm a lion. Where am I going with this? Oh yeah, speaking of a lion, I mean, if they can get rid of like everyone but Garland, just for the sake of like getting rid of everyone is hard, I would give Garland another chance with, like, again, other guys who try as hard as him in the lineup. And I know, like, Garland hasn't been quote unquote trying right now, and the numbers speak for themselves and just the attitude and whatnot. But before that, like, we haven't seen a stretch of Connor Garland like this, And I'm just trying to say, maybe he just had enough too, and maybe he'd rather spend some time, being like the second best dad in the world. You know what I'm trying to say, Trevor? Like, he just, because he puts his body on the line. He does his thing. Like, squirmy guy he's one of the few guys that gets into scraps too. And like, his homie got traded. I know that's a bit of an excuse, but I just think that, like, he deserves I would be more willing to give him a second chance if, again, they get rid of the other guys, just, still make the most out of this year when it comes to, like, accumulating assets. I guess it's a short thing, Trevor. Remember, I got a soft spot for small things, small people,
and small things. Yeah, there you go. Look, I'm still on team trade them all, but I think, again, when you look at guys like Pettersson and Garland, you got to get some assets for them. I think DeBrusque and Besser, if you can get a mid to late round pick with no retention, boom, bam. See you later. It's done, man. It's done. But again, Vancouver's got to change the culture, man. And, at least on Locked On Canucks, we're keeping the culture the same because we got the best damn fans in the world, man. Andrew in the comments, shout out to the Everydayers and Locked On Canucks. Andrew saying, trade Garland to San Jose. God, how do you feel about that? Division rival, put him with Macklin, Celebrini, boom, bam. They still got the assets to get it done. But in terms of getting 2 seconds for Connor Garland, that might be a bit tough. But maybe we'll phrase it this way before we cut to break. What's the minimum return that you'd be willing to accept on a Connor Garland trade?
A second and a player.
Like a kind of like a B-level prospect?
Yeah.
Or like a
more of a B plus, to be honest. Like, a chance to be a B plus, I'm talking like late first round pick that you don't want anymore. Kind of similar to, that would be like the Panarin acquisition, no? But something similar.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there was like a first round pick and Liam Green, late first rounder and a third for Panarin. Yeah, the cost certainty with Garland, I guess.
No, Panarin's a way, just a way more efficient player.
But that was a different situation because Panarin basically said he was only going to go to one team. I can almost guarantee you other teams would have paid more for Panarin.
Think about this, Trevor. Even though these guys don't have trade protection, it's like how much faith do you have in like Rutherford and Alvin not just like giving up their leverage to the player and their agent? They've done it a couple times already. And I don't know like what's going on. Like is this just the way of times where like in 2026 like nothing is really that important, and if like someone on your team that you employ, but is still a real person, has been like super nice to you the whole time, and like it's just been respectable. And I know this is a business, but you know what? You're like a new family man. Like, let me actually just help you out. Like, I don't know if the world is just, what I'm trying to say, Trevor? Because I thought we grew up on Brian Burke. Like I don't know how I could be wrong on that. Brian Burke seems like a nice, like obviously a nice legend too, right? Like he's so respected, but business, I don't know. I feel like losing your leverage on player acquisitions by being the nice person is like the great thing to do for the human race, but I'm not sure how good it is for the fans, which is just a dark thing to say. I got to go to church.
It's a business at the end of the day, man. And I think there's 2 ways to look at it. There's the human side. There's also the side that these guys make, they're in the 1%, man. They make a lot of money to figure out their first world problems.
Okay, I gotta
there
get
we go.
some.
maybe I need to go to church too, man. Anyways, let's wrap up the other side on Locked On Canucks and let's talk about a Belarusian stud. And we're gonna do the segment that Kyle's begun to hate. That's coming up on Locked On Canucks. Before we get back to the program, let's shout out our friends over at Quo. Like status quo, baby. Except maybe your business shouldn't be operating in the status quo. So go check out Quo. Am I saying Quo too much? Who knows? But anyways, new year, new systems. This is the time when a lot of us look at the messier parts of how we run our business and think, there's got to be a better way. Right, Canucks? Hey, and there is. Streamlining your communications is one of the quickest upgrades you can make. That's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo, the smarter way to run your business communications. Because when your team is reachable, organized, and communicating in one place, you're not just working cleaner, you're creating more opportunities to connect with customers. Your whole team can call and text from one shared business number on Quo, so nothing gets missed. And Quo, like everyone else, man, they're using those smart AI tools to automatically log calls, summarize conversations, and highlight next steps, so details never slip through the cracks. It's no surprise that Quo is rated the #1 business phone system on G2, trusted by more than 90,000 businesses, from solo operators to growing teams. Make this the year where no opportunity and no customer slips away. Try Quo for free, plus get 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/LockedOnNHL. That's QUO.com/LockedOnNHL. Quo, no missed calls and no missed customers, baby.
Shout out to Quo. Let's get back to Locked On Canucks. People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. My name's Kyle Bowen. That right there is Trevor Baggs. One love to the Don't Doze Art Lab. for giving us the space to do the West Coast buys. And shout out to Trevor's family to be, for being like just completely artistic and, graceful to give their dad, give Father Bag some free art. Okay. For real. Just saying, Trevor, like you're blessed.
Hey man, you've been in my house. It's everywhere, man. It's everywhere. And every day they come home with more. So I mean, look at my background, man. Come on, for the viewers on YouTube, it's that's just a sliver of what my house looks like. Every single wall in the house actually looks like this one.
It does, and
yeah,
it's the coolest thing ever, man. It's you, Trevor. You know me. I just got into drawing, a couple weeks ago. Playing with pastels, living the dream. So I'm gonna say I'm jealous right now. Okay, you're living the dream. Okay.
Yeah,
anyways,
maybe on tomorrow's episode I'll show your horror picture painting that you painted with my daughter.
Okay.
Speaking of horrors, man, we're gonna do a segment that Kyle hates. I know what you and Kyle are thinking. Goats of the week for the worst team in the NHL. What the hell's wrong with you? But man, I'm a man of the people. I'm a man of my word, and I said goats of the week every week, man, on Mondays. And I did skip last week, thinking that we got a couple extra like Olympic break coming up, blah blah blah. So I have put it together, and I'll rip through and let's talk about one of the players on the list. Now, number 5, I got Connor Garland, 3 assists in the last 5 games. Number 4, Liam Ogren, still putting in the work more than pretty much everyone else on this team. Number 3, we haven't talked a lot about this guy, but D. Petey, man. Starting to show something. A little bit more control of the puck, a little more physicality, even scores the goal. The puck didn't lift off the ice, but he still scored, man. It still counts. He did that in the last week and change too. Number 2, this is a guy I want to talk about, Nikita Tolopilo. The week he had was pretty amazing. Number 1 quickly was Teddy Blueger. I mean, he led the team in goals. He led the team in points over the last 5 games. He called out the freaking veterans on this team that everyone has been begging for someone to do it, and Teddy Blueger stepped up. So he is the number 1 goal. But for Nikita Tolopilo, Kyle, looking at the 3 games he had over this 5-game stretch here, against the Sharks, he comes in late and stops 25 of 27 shots. Gets the shutout against Anaheim, although doesn't get credit for it because the concussion spotter pulled him out for 2 minutes. And then against Toronto, they lose in a shootout, but he stops 39 of 41 shots for his last game before the break. And man, oh man, I believe what happened in the next game for the Vancouver Canucks, Kevin Langdon steps in and and the Golden Knights torch him for 5 goals on like 20 shots. So I think where I'm going with this is Nikita Tolopilo, man. Do you think he's like, is he a full-time NHLer? Like, is he, I know he went back to the farm, obviously, just, over the Olympic break here, but is this guy a full-time NHLer now?
Yeah, of course. Like, I mean, for the rest of the year, obviously, right?
That's the combo though, man. How about next year when, I mean, everything's going to depend on Demko's health. But if Langdon keeps playing subpar, and we've talked about this as well, like, will Langdon even get a second of ice time at the Olympics? There's an argument that he's now the 3rd best goalie on that team. Right?
No, of course. So, like, what's the option though? Like trading one of Demko or Lankinen? Sure. I mean, that would be a dreamlike scenario for the Canucks, to be honest, because it's another piece where you can like possibly get another pick for, right? Just one of those things. But I think Kevin Lankinen has been pretty bad for close to a year straight now. Like, we're getting into that 1-year mark, and that makes him a backup. And what was he before? He was the, fancy stat legend who then signed with the Canucks, right? Like, he was a backup. And how much are you getting? Like, you're not getting a Tristan Jarry, like, I don't know, like, I can't even say that's like a crazy return, but is it even like what did Colorado pay for their goaltenders? Like draft picks, right? Like, I don't know if you're even doing that. Like, getting that, Kevin Lankinen makes a lot of money for being a backup. I think that Tolopilo, like, he might have, it's not like if he starts in Abbotsford next year. I don't know his contract situation, but I'm pretty sure he's signed for next year. No,
he's still or Tolopilo.
Tolopilo.
Yeah, Tolopilo signed for next year.
Exactly. So if he's the 3rd string goalie and plays in Abbotsford again, it's like, come on.
But here's the thing. He's waiver eligible.
Oh,
now again, no guarantee he gets claimed, but if he keeps going on a tear here for the rest of the season, you can certainly see it. And maybe the Canucks are in another situation where they sell him for pennies on the dollar for a former 1st-round pick who's like really a 4th liner in the AHL, and a 4th-round pick, right? Like, here's my thought on this. I think going into next season, if all the goalies are still on the roster, keep 3 guys at the NHL level. Like Thatcher Demko has not proven he can stay healthy. You could rotate all 3, or option B, make it a pure competition heading into training camp between Tolopilo and Lankinen. And if Tolopilo wins, I would lean towards keeping him and doing the 3 goalie rotation. If Lankinen wins, Tolopilo keep him up, do the 3 goalie rotation. If you lose, if Tolopilo beats out Lankinen in training camp, send Lankinen. Oh, he's got the no move clause. You can't send him to the minors. That ruins my plan. Just keep 3 goalies next year, man. That's my, unless you can trade Demko or Lankinen, which I don't see happening. I would keep all 3 the NHL roster next season. Of course, Andrew in the comments pointing out just have Demko retire. That is the other option.
Yeah, man. And as the line change Van is saying in the comments, can you really afford to lose Sheelovs and Tolopilo back-to-back years? You probably can. I mean, we're talking about like I don't know. I don't know how much we're going to be talking about this like 5 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Just based on like how goaltending works and, you know, where Tolopilo and Sheelovs still have to go. But at the end of the day, they're both 2 interesting prospects. You know, like Sheelov's not a prospect anymore, but, you know, AHL playoff MVP, you know, universal 3rd stringer for the team, gets traded, right? Young goalie, you know, had some success in Pittsburgh, not overly consistent recently, but yeah, whatever. Having some success, good vibes guy too. You know that works in a room. He's one of those guys, and Pittsburgh is winning. And can he, like Tolopilo, like he just looks so athletic, so tall, so calm, so poised. I'm able to also like, I don't know, just like get called up and down and, you know, deal with stuff like he's dealing with a lot too, new family man too, but he just locks it down. I think he's in the opportunity. And again, mental games aside, I actually like the way he looks, you know, tall guy, you know what I'm saying? Tall guy, super athletic. I don't know. There just seems to be like, isn't that somebody you'd want like Ian Clark to work with or something? I know that's like a pipe dream away because Ian Clark may leave ASAP, but he seems like a prototype, no? Kind of reminds me of like, could he be like Pekka Rinne or something? I don't know.
Well, he has the chance to be the best NHL goalie ever from Belarus, because I think there's only one other NHL goalie from Belarus who's ever made it to the show.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, look, I got a lot of confidence in Tolopilo. He's really grown on me. I from watching Abbotsford last year, he was very hot and cold. He'd go for a spectacular stretch, then he'd have a really rough one. He's really grown on me as a player, and the Canucks like the line change is saying. Shout out to the line change. Go check them out on YouTube podcasts. Make sure you keep Tolopilo. Don't make the same mistake with Arturs Sheelovs. Any final thoughts, Kyle?
Of course, man. Want to run the segment. Let's run comment of the yesterday. This one comes from Golf Made Easy for You. This is the most entertaining hockey pod. Y'all have jokes and fair takes. Love it. Thanks for the comment. You know, Trevor, normally we use this segment to troll people, and, you know, I use it for therapy too. Like, again, it's pretty expensive out there, so I got to do whatever I can to survive. But why don't we talk about a good one, okay? That was a nice one. That was a nice one. And I'm definitely putting that in the Valentine's Day card for my girl. You know, I've been thinking a lot about Valentine's Day month. You know this. Now it's Valentine's Day week. Okay, it's almost Valentine's Day Eve very, very soon as well. Then it's Valentine's Day, so it's a big week ahead of me. And I want to bring my girl in and let her know, you know, I'm a dreamer and I'm a doer. So I'm gonna put that comment in there, and I'm gonna say, believe in me, I got you. You know what I'm saying? That's a nice one, right?
Yeah, I might. Can you print me one of those cards too? I might use that as well.
Of course, because, you know, they'd be so proud of it. You know what I'm saying, bro? It's real love. It's real love, and they want to see us be loved. So Golf Made Easy for You. I guess this guy's maybe a golf tutor. The next Tiger Woods. Yeah. Thanks for making me more lovable. See, that was a good one, right, Trevor? There you go.
Yeah, that was good. You should create your own line of Valentine's Day cards. I'd buy some, because you're a lot crazy about Valentine's Day than I am, man. And probably 99% of the male race, man. I'm proud of you. You're just a romantic, man.
Hey,
who's talking to be that romantic?
You did, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Yo, you were the first person I told that I had a girlfriend. Yeah, I was like, yo, dude, I need some help here. Something just happened. I learned everything from Trevor Beggs, man. That's why they call him Best Bud Beggsy.
Best Bud begs you. I thought it was the Flash, but anyways, that's got a few nicknames. That was another episode of Locked On Canucks. If you like what we're doing, stay along for the fair takes and the jokes. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Hit the goddamn like button on the podcast side. Go follow us. Leave a 5-star review. We'll be back tomorrow. A little Olympic preview talk. And can this team still be interested in Elias Pettersson? That's coming up tomorrow. I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Kyle Bowden. You've been listening to Locked On Canucks.
Peace.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.